different tukar lah.
Pertama saya kata tentang proses tu dibantah oleh kedua-dua pihak. Sistem perjalanan yang dijalankan, perkiraan undi hilang, macam-macam. Jadi kita kena betul satu separate. Yang keduanya, oleh itu dia mengundangkan beberapa kenyataan pemimpin-pemimpin yang tidak kerana beberapa kesilapan besar dalam proses pengundian itu dia dipertikaikan oleh banyak pihak. Walaupun kita kata semua, tapi saya rasa akan diteruskan. Tetapi saya berkenaan bahawa pemimpin itu harus patuh kepada beberapa peraturan disiplin yang bantah dalam mesyuarat. Jadi ini bukan kebebasan dalam mesyuarat, untuk harus ada latihan kebenaran. Okey. Kita sebab negara kita dalam hubungan, walaupun ada kelemahan kita tidak boleh batalkan. Tetapi kita tahu bahawa dia juga perlu kita baiki. Bagaimana tujuan besar suara sistem dia diundi. Itu kita harus teliti.
Datuk Seri, ada what position will you offer to Rafizi?
Can you suggest anything?
Maybe the Central Leadership Committee.
Yeah. Or second?
Thank you. Yeah, one saying is I understand behavior is not innovations because it's there are so much misunderstanding and
isunya ICERD dan what's my take on it? I said with the best of intentions. I mean, I am leading now a party that with a clear agenda against discrimination in any form and giving due consideration and rights to all Malaysians. But the concern by ICERD in some ways are quite legitimate. People want to know that their rights, particularly those enshrined in the Constitution, will not be jeopardized or be challenged. The government have given some sort of assurance, but why do we need to just satisfy a small group of elites who wants to talk about purely human rights, anti-discrimination, to the extent that there is this possibility of a racial and religious turmoil? I think the priority which Tun Mahathir is embarking upon is correct, good governance, and all the policies seems to be consistent with our manifesto against any form of discrimination. But why allow a convention that can create so much misunderstanding and civil strife to proceed and therefore derail our priority? Saya tidak pandang isu ICERD ini sebagai provision dia, tetapi memaksa untuk rakyat meneruskan. Seperti mana kita lihat, dia tidak relevan sama sekali. Tumpuan kita good governance, tumpuan kita betulkan kecurangan, tumpuan kita adakan dasar yang boleh meyakinkan semua rakyat, semua kaum. Tetapi bila ada ICERD ini, dia ditafsirkan sebagai sesuatu yang akan menghentam kedudukan orang Melayu. Jadi mengundangkan masalah. Bagi saya, tangguhlah dulu. Tumpukan hal-hal yang lebih utama dalam negara kita. Okay?
Shouldn't ratify first.
No, I mean, I'm suggesting that because I know the PM also expressed some concerns, and now you have seen UMNO past is exploiting this and creating the impression that the Malay position is going to be compromised, which I don't believe. Why do we need to embark on this when we know our priority now is good governance, ridding countries of corruption, and managing our economic and getting a united force of Malaysians with a new vision? I think to me this should be a priority, and if we need be, we just delay the ratification of ICERD.
UMNO has openly asked us to join in the organising of public rally on December 8th against
well, I'm not I'm not too concerned because it is purely it's quite hypocritical for UMNO to talk about Malay rights and Islam when they condone all the excesses of the past. I mean, they condone the squandering of billions. What's so Islamic about it? The squandering of billions of ringgit of YMDB funds. What is the interest of the Malays? You actually it's a crime also not to Malaysians and to the Malays, particularly when we talk about Felda and some of the other Malay agencies, Bumiputera agencies or majority Bumiputera interests. So I can counter that, but I'm talking about the general concern of the ordinary Malays, whether ratification would mean jeopardizing their interests or questioning, having the right to question some of the legitimate provisions of the Constitution.
Are you concerned of racial strife?
So, I mean, it's now brewing to that. And people, I mean, UMNO and PAS is striking in that direction. To my mind, why be distracted by these sort of things? Our concern is to expose the excesses of the past. Now they're saying they're deflecting it into creating something else. So I don't think we should give them the avenue.
So you're saying
Okay,
that you
next.
ask them to move on and accept the result, so the result will not be nullified if the investigation proves that there was wrongdoing. Are you saying that there will not be?
Now, as a party, we have to move on. Okay? And as I said, that's why I deliberately explained Julau, because I think that even the media thought that they're using Julau for a specific purpose. I mean, as Secretary said, there was never a challenge. I mean, the total new membership is 400 over 1,000. Why then single out Julau? But if there had been some protest, given the time frame, then taken the necessary action. But there was no protest. Now, but I find it difficult to proceed with or to accept the elections in Julau, because the election committee confirmed that they were compromised, the tablets were compromised. Although they said later, well, after checking, it may not be that true, they don't have evidence. But the fact that, you go to any elections, if the tablets or the votes have been compromised, tampered with, you don't continue. But that was my advice. But they thought that they should give given some time. And after 3 days, on Tuesday, I thought it was just too late. And by then, the results are known. So if you proceed with Julau, the result may change. Because Julau was Rafi's base also. So I then told them that we must proceed. Now what happened next? But it depends on the investigations by the police and the MCMC and the MAE and the Anti-Corruption Commission.
Datuk Seri, PKR rantau, ada strategi khusus daripada PKR untuk pastikan rantau jatuh kepada village sebab ketika ni rantau jadi ada strategi khusus dalam PKR.
Mungkin calon-calon yang akan diletak.
Ya, kita paksa kerja kuat. Ada kawan-kawan bagi tahu bahawa oleh kerana majoriti Melayu, misalnya tak Melayu, kita Parti Keadilan ni kita kena buat beberapa pertimbangan lain ya. Sebab kita dah bagi beberapa ruang untuk orang India, orang Cina, ibarat kanan, jadi kita tak boleh guna alasan Melayu saja. Dan saya sebut juga bahawa pengundi India dari segi peratus itu paling tinggi di rantau. 31% itu, 31% itu antara pengundi India di satu kawasan yang paling tinggi. Jadi untuk kita ketepikan itu tidak fair. Cuma saya tak boleh buat keputusan pertama sehingga saya dengar pandangan cabang, pandangan negeri dan
Datuk Seri akan mengajukan calon Datuk Seri Orang untuk PKR kali ini?
Saya baru jawab. Saya kata saya tak boleh bagi keputusan sebab kita kena dengar cabang, negeri dan pusat. Tapi saya dah bagi pendirian saya lah. Susah sebab dia calon dan dinafikan dalam proses yang dianggap penipuan. Kemudian hakim memutuskan terus. Jadi kita nak batalkan pencalonan dia, bagi saya ethically may be difficult. Walaupun bagaimanapun ada pandangan dari beberapa pimpinan kata ini kawasan Melayu itu kena menang kerana calon UMNO ini kepala presiden. Iyalah kita boleh dengar.
Datuk Seri, ada jawatan yang sesuai untuk Rafizi dalam
Saya baru minta cadangan.
Last question.
Datuk Seri.
Dah ada cadangan?
Last question.
Tak ada apa, saya cadangan, saya boleh timbang.
Datuk Seri.
It's been a whirlwind past few months for you. I mean, you've gone back to Parliament. Now today, officially the party president. Would you decisively say that you are back in the full scheme of Malaysian politics?
I don't think he ever left.
Yeah. I think it's right.
So, are you now ready to take on that promise to become Prime Minister?
No, that is a different issue. I'm back, I'm ready. But I think the issue is, and we have, I've said this now in my speech, that as a party, we support Tun Mahathir as the Prime Minister. And we want him to continue as long as he's prepared to continue to perform the task. Ya.
Macam mana dengan jawatan Ketua Umum, adakah masih ada ataupun akan dihapuskan tu macam mana?
Ketua Umum hari itu dia bukan perlembagaan, dia ikut resolusi seperti yang diterangkan oleh Sultan Agong di sidangan Seremban yang diluluskan oleh sebuah suara. Dan sekarang ini Datuk tidak ada yang ialah pengurusi Majlis Penasihat Parti yang diketuai oleh Azizah.
Okay.
Terima kasih.
Datuk Seri, last. Sebab kita nampak berapa menteri yang tak hadir. Apa sebab mereka tak ada datang convention?
Dua tu macam Saiful Abdullah kan mengiringi Perdana Menteri. Jadi kita tentulah bagi kebenaran sebab dia iringi Perdana Menteri ke Papua New Guinea. Dr. Xavier di Mesir dia mengetuai atau mengurusikan mesyuarat itu sidang antarabangsa. Barubian tidak ada penjelasan. Sebab tu saya tegur tadi.
Oh, so sudah tegur dia.
Saya tegur tadi, saya kata ada menteri tak ada.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okey lah last. Biar 6 kali last.
Dari tahu Tun ada kewajipan yang Majlis Presiden Pakatan Harapan yang akan research calon itu. Boleh Datuk Seri komen sikit?
Ya, selalu proses itulah. Tapi ini calon keadilan. Keputusan keadilan, tapi macam Tun sebut, dia selalu ikut, kita maklumkan kepada Majlis Presiden sebagai satu proses menghormati, dalam proses menghormati Pakatan Harapan.
Datuk Seri nak minta konfirmasi lagi sekali, jawatan Ketua Umum tu sekarang dah tiada atau macam mana?
We cadang? No, dia ada sebut Ketua Umum tu si cadang kami disimpan untuk anak terakhir. Sama Tuan Anwar Ibrahim tak boleh pegang jawatan. Sekarang Anwar boleh pegang jawatan. Jadi dia create satu lagi majlis penasihat. Ketua Umum tu tak ada. Dia nak cadang siapa? Rafizi.
Okay, that will be the last
Hey, I'm joking.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sri.
Okay.
Selfie.
Presiden PKR.